Hey everyone, it's Priscilla from Prisca Art Henna, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make your own small batch of henna paste. Let's get right into what you're going to need to get started. Alright, so you're going to need some Jamila henna, some high terp essential oil, I'm using lavender, some distilled water. You're also going to need some white sugar, and you're going to need some things to measure out your ingredients. You can either use some measuring spoons, or if you want to be super exact, you can use a food weight scale. Also, you're going to need some plastic wrap, a ceramic or plastic bowl to mix everything in, and optional is a mesh food strainer. Alright, so those are all the things you're going to need to mix your henna, and if you have my henna kit, then everything is already all in there measured out for you. Let's go ahead and get our bowl and start mixing our ingredients. Alright, so let's start off by putting our henna powder and sugar into our sifter, into our bowl. Don't forget to measure out your henna powder and your sugar if you don't already have it pre-measured out. Once again, the sifter is not required, but it does help to get out those few big clumps. If you're left with some clumps, just use a spoon, or if it's for your own stuff, you can use your hands, or I like to use my whisk to get all those extra clumps out. Now make sure to mix your henna and sugar together very well. After we thoroughly mix together our henna powder and our sugar, we are now going to add our lavender oil and our water. We're going to do the lavender oil first though. Now we're going to add in our water in increments to get the henna wet, but not like super liquidy. I'm going to start with 2 tablespoons to see how that looks. Now make sure to show you guys how the 2 tablespoons looks. Now I'm going to give it a really good mix. Alright, as you can see, I'm mixing this for a few minutes. I'm going to mix it, I know this sounds like a lot, but kind of rub around 4 to 5 minutes. We'll just say around 3 to 4 minutes, just to make sure that all the ingredients are thoroughly mixed. And here is how the consistency of the 2 tablespoons looks. As you can see, it's a very toothpaste-like consistency. You could probably add a little bit more water if you wanted to, like a half a tablespoon more, just to get it to make it a little bit easier for you to mix. But I think the 2 tablespoons is good. But if yours looks like a little bit drier than this, add about a half a tablespoon, or just to make it a little bit more liquidy, to make that easier for you if you would like to. But all right, I'm going to mix it for another minute or two just to make sure all the ingredients are very thoroughly combined, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so after that's all mixed, and my arm is a little tight, not gonna lie, I like to get a spoon, and then I like to just make sure that all of the henna is scraped from the sides of the bowl, and it's all just kind of compiled in the middle of the bowl. It's all just, you want it all to be in like one pile. Okay guys, we are halfway there. So now we are going to get our plastic wrap, our cling seal, whatever you want to use, and we are going to cover up our henna, and I'll show you exactly how we're going to do that after I get this out of here. Plastic wrap is very annoying to use, so try not to get it all squished and tangled up together. Alright, so now I'm going to place it on my bowl, like so. I'm going to press. Sorry, that's far away. Now I'm going to place it on my bowl like this, and I'm going to press it down so that it is touching the henna. So that the henna is not being touched by the air, so it won't get oxidized or touched by the oxygen too quickly. So I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that. I got out all of the oxygen bubbles that I could. You just don't want your henna to oxidize. You want it to be able to stay like this, not very much touched by the oxygen around it, so that it can reach dye release. And dye release is when the henna is ready to stain and it starts staining. So since we are using Jamila henna powder and we're using a water liquid base, This will take usually around 3 hours in a regular room temperature house, but if your house is really cold, it might take a little bit longer. You want to place your henna somewhere that is warm, not hot, so that it can reach dye release. Once again, it takes around 3 hours, but a little bit longer if you're in a very cold setting. So we're gonna put this henna powder right here in my house. My house is kind of warm right now, so I'm in 3 hours. We're gonna check for dye release, and I'll show you exactly how to do that in 3 hours from now. So make sure your henna is covered, get those pesky little air bubbles out, and place it somewhere warm. If your house is really cold right now, maybe place it by like a sunlit window or in your microwave. Do not turn it on. Or like underneath like your oven light. Once again, you want it to be warm, not hot. All right, I'll see you guys in 3 hours. So it has been about 3 hours, and now we're going to test our henna paste to see if it has reached dye release. And basically, that's going to involve me getting my finger, dipping in the henna, letting it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. And if it is a pumpkin orange, that means that the henna has reached dye release and it's ready to be coned and either frozen or used. All right, let's go ahead and test this out. I'm going to remove the plastic wrap. Let's get my finger, whatever finger you want to use, and just I gotta swirl it around, and I get that much of a dab of henna paste on my finger. So I'm gonna wait 10 minutes. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna wash it off our finger and we're gonna see if it is a bright orange. If it is, it's ready to go. If not, we'll leave it for another hour. All right, I'll see y'all in about 10 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes and I washed off the henna. As you can see, the orange is not bright enough. It's kind of like a dull orange. So I think that my henna is going to need more time to sit. Maybe it's not as warm in my house as I thought it was. It's kind of raining outside. So I'm going to give it another hour or two and I will come back and we're going to test it again to see if it's ready. So I waited till the next day. I think it's because my water was a little bit colder than I thought it was. If you use slightly warm water, like not hot, but like lukewarm water, you will get dye release a little bit faster. But it has been about, goodness, about 18-ish hours. And sometimes it can take that long. Sometimes it doesn't just take 3 hours. It might take 6 to 18 hours, depending on, temperatures and the henna powder. This henna powder is taking about 18 hours, but I finally got see if it focuses. I finally got the pumpkin orange color I was looking for here on my finger. So that means that the henna is now ready for dye release. This means it can be used. But we have to add more water to our paste first so we can get the right kind of consistency. So you want to get your distilled water and we're going to add it tablespoon by tablespoon to our paste and mix it as we go to get the right consistency that we want. So this is a consistency that I like. I only added in 1 tablespoon of water. See how it's a bit shiny, how it looks a bit creamy, how when I pick it up off of my whisk doesn't necessarily drop off. It kind of just sits there and I can just flick it off if I wanted to like that. But since we put in a good amount of sugar into our paste, we don't need a whole lot of water because the sugar kind of will kind of give it that liquidiness that it needs. But yes, this is how I make my small batch of henna. This will make about 4-ish cones, depending on how big you make your cones. So after your henna is done like this, then it's time to cone it and either use it or put it into your freezer. And if you're looking to do that, you can watch this video next on how to put your henna into your cones. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.